Hi everyone, welcome back to Media Moogle for another Media Moogle review, where today we are taking a look at the Eternal Castle Remastered, which is a quote-unquote remaster of a game from 1987, but that's actually not true from the research I've done anyways. There are some crazy theories out there on the internet as to whether this game actually existed or not, with some screenshots being uploaded that apparently ended up being fake. You can go down that rabbit hole if you wish, but I'm going to choose not to and just get right into what's so excellent about this title that is now available on the Nintendo Switch, and it has previously been released on Steam. The Switch version was published by TFL Studios, and if you've seen my previous review here of Ministry of Broadcast on Media Moogle, then you probably have a good idea of how I feel about this genre of cinematic platformers. They're some of my favorite games, with Another World being one of my top games of all time, but let me tell you, you spend about 1 to 2 to maybe 3 minutes tops playing the Eternal Castle and you'll understand why it's not only a special game, it's a very important one. The Eternal Castle opens up with a very strange block of text that is rather difficult to read, perhaps cryptically so on purpose, but you will play as either a male or female character, or both if you use the 2-player co-op mode, which unfortunately I did not get to test out, appropriately named Adam or Eve. You are flying a spaceship which unfortunately comes under attack, resulting in the loss of 4 different parts which you have to go out and retrieve in different locations, with the end goal being to get inside of the Eternal Castle after you've collected all 4 parts and got your ship up and running again, so that you can confront an all-seeing AI who has shielded themselves from humanity. On top of the Eternal Castle, there are also 4 areas that you'll be able to explore in this game. They range from ancient ruins to graveyards to even a battlefield. And just like the games that inspire it, you will have to carefully navigate your way through different traps, make a lot of difficult platforming jumps. And while games like Flashback and Another World did feature combat, I will say that the Eternal Castle perhaps features even more, with a melee close-range attack as well as 10 different weapons that you can gather across the journey. There is definitely that classic cinematic feel to this game as well, so if you are not into those previously mentioned games very much, then the Eternal Castle is not going to change your mind. There is some weightiness to your movement, and of course the jumps aren't exactly 100% precise, and admittedly this can be a little frustrating as it tends to be in this genre of games. But this very particular play style also feels like it's paramount to the success of the Eternal Castle, and it certainly would not be the same game without it. So yes, there is a very distinct feel to this game, but if there wasn't, then you would be able to blow through it pretty quickly, and there wouldn't be a lot of challenge, so the controls end up feeling like they are part of the challenge of this game. However you end up feeling about how the game plays, nobody will be able to question the outstanding art design of this game. These graphics are incredible, I don't care what you say. The 2-bit CGA animated graphics are absolutely astounding to look at, and even though there are only a few colors throughout the game, it really does lend itself to the look of an old computer game. And honestly, these animations are some of the best I've come across in a video game in a long time. They reminded me of some of the great work back in the 16-bit era on the Disney games. And there's always a tense, disturbing, brooding atmosphere that is absolutely incredible. I love the aesthetic of this game, and the sound design is absolutely spot on as well. There are dark, brooding, and pounding synths that will creep up out of nowhere, intense orchestrated pieces. This is some hard-hitting, pulse-pounding electronica music, and it's absolutely fantastic, with excellent sound design across the game as well. Bullets firing in the background, different little touches like that. I will say then it becomes a little bit disappointing that my audio would from time to time cut out in the Nintendo Switch version, which was the only notable glitch that I came across during my playthrough. The Eternal Castle Remastered is not a long game, perhaps clocking in around the 3-hour mark for your average player, but there are some unlockables to be had, including a Lost Tales episode, a PvP Death Arena mode included, and of course there are different items to be gathered up that you might miss on your first playthrough. Overall though, I was thankful that this Switch version came out, because perhaps this would have been one of those games that I never even noticed, unfortunately, that it had been released on Steam, so I'm very thankful that Nintendo was willing to take a risk and allow this on their platform. That said, I could talk about the Eternal Castle all day, but I'm not going to do that to you. Instead, I'm going to plead with you to go ahead and support this title if you like cinematic adventure platforming style games. This is absolutely one of the best in its class. It is $14.99 on the Nintendo Switch as of May 15th, 2020. The Eternal Castle is a challenging game both in terms of narrative design and gameplay. Once you've entered its dark, mysterious, and bleak world, however, the Eternal Castle will not let go of you until its thrilling conclusion. For more on the Eternal Castle Remastered and all of our other content, head on over to MediaMoogle.net, where we have some wonderful podcasts for you to check out, like I Dream of Indie. And if you have enjoyed our video coverage today, please do consider hitting the subscribe button below. If you really like what we're doing, you can head on over to patreon.com/MediaMoogle, where we have 3 wonderful tiers to choose from, or feel free to leave a donation in the link below. However you end up supporting Media Moogle, thank you so much for doing so.